I'm laughing already. I'm sorry. What's up, everyone? I'm just laughing because I haven't gone live in a very long time. I apologize. So I'm back. Welcome back. I was very moved, of course, by the Queen passing this last, I don't know, 10, 15 days. So it's been you know, it was, we all die, unfortunately. So, it just, she's been meant a lot to the people of the United Kingdom and everything. And I was talking to Adam, and I figured, hey, let's go live. Let's pay a little tribute. Let's bring this guy. I'm going to bring this guy right in right away. So there he is. Hey, buddy. How you doing, man?
Yeah, how's it going?
What's going on? I didn't mean to be a little...
It was very yeah. Obviously, I love how the title of the show is "Rest in Peace, Queen Elizabeth II," and then obviously we open the show with forgetting what buttons to press and just laughing at and spirits are lifted straight away because
totally.
And apologies for being late, guys. It's the technical difficulties because we've not been live for so long that we've forgotten how to go live. So
I know it's just weird. I don't know. So I just wanted to bring you right in. So Adam told me the other day. I said, "Hey, you're gonna go down to see the Queen?" He's like, "I may go Sunday." So I'm sitting around and I message Adam and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Hey, we're there. And I'm going in about 15 minutes." So I'm like, I need to be honest, I didn't even know you could watch it live, to see the Queen and everything. So it was very cool. I actually got it was weird. I saw while he was in there, I said a picture to Adam. I'm like, "Is that you? Are you wearing black? Is that Kimmy?" I'm like, it wasn't him. It was someone else. It was your stunt double or something. I don't know. And then he sent me a picture of what it was. And then he told me exactly when he went in. And I know it was weird because I didn't even tell you this. I saw there was two people that were like scouts. Is there like scouts in the UK? They have like...
yeah, they have scouts, Cub Scouts.
Yeah, they had like a scout uniform on, and you were right after them. Yeah. So I definitely watched it because I remember commenting on the scouts. So Adam said, "No, I was on 33 minutes right before the changing of the guards, and I rewound, and I actually got to see on the TV, which is really cool." So
yeah,
but that's jumping ahead a little bit. So welcome everyone. It's been a while. I was kind of half joking that the Queen was a regular on Pub Talk. So we always had her on. We paid tribute to her and everything. So I'm a little, she was a regular on our show. So do you want to do who's in the chat, Adam? It's been a while, but do you want to bring it up?
I'll quickly do who's in the chat. So we've got Nathan, who's been looking forward to us going live. It's Nathan's birthday. Happy birthday, Nathan, 29.
Happy birthday, Nathan.
We've got some guy named RobFuz. I don't know.
That's me.
We've got Mary Stankovic. We've got SebastianTheCrab. We've got Velociboy. And we've got Hassan and Margaret Riley as well. So hey guys.
Hey, Hassan. Yeah. By the way, Hassan is my other friend. He works with the government and stuff, and he actually went to go see. So good to see Hassan. What a day! Actually, it's surreal 10 days, 100% Hassan.
It's been exhausting. It's like and very very surreal. Yeah, I mean the news broke. I mean really, it's this is the 11th day. It was Thursday the 8th of September, when obviously the news broke that the Queen's health had taken a turn for the worst, and then obviously they confirmed a few hours later that she had actually passed away. And that's like Kim and I watch so much stuff on TV, and it's funny, we've got something going on at the end of the month, which we'll talk about later. But we in the build up to that, we were like, there's so many things we wanted to watch. We were in the middle of rewatching all the Friends stuff, which we started months ago, and just so we were watching that, and we were like, oh, the new season of Cobra Kai is coming up, and the new season of something else, and House of the Dragon. We were kind of like, there was so much stuff we wanted to watch, and then on that Thursday when the news broke that the Queen's health had taken a turn for the worse, we put on the TV and we put on Sky News, which is obviously just constant news channel. You guys have the same. You see,
yeah, I had it on here too.
So
they do an amazing job, by the way. They had 3 live streams. Yeah, Lion, they had the stream of the actual viewing, and they had like a news stream, which was awesome. So
so we put Sky News on, and that channel's not turned over in the 11 days since that news story broke, and And Hassan's just made a comment, which I'm going to talk about shortly myself as well. That, yeah, he's just said, I feel like I need 2 weeks sleep, and all I've been doing is watching the TV Zero track. Yeah, I'll comment on that a bit later on. But yeah, so it's been a very surreal sort of 11 days, because obviously when the news broke about the Queen passing, it was a moment that we kind of never wanted to see come. We all know that unfortunately death is the only certainty in life, and everybody passes, and it's it's a tragic thing, but it's kind of something that you never really want to face up to. And obviously when the news broke, it was stunning. It was a big wow moment, because you just didn't. I mean, it happened so suddenly as well. And then obviously within sort of the next day or so, the proclamation of the new king, because that transfers is obviously a hereditary title, and it transfers immediately the moment the queen passes, or the moment the king passes. It transfers onto their heir immediately, although obviously the proclamation was a day or so later, and then obviously I'm sure there'll be a coronation at some point, maybe next year as well.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. I mean, when the Queen became Queen, when King George VI passed in 1952, the Queen's coronation was actually 1953. So it was many months, or even it might have even been over a year later, after she became Queen, that she actually had her coronation. So I believe I've not seen anything official, but I believe there will be a coronation next year, for King Charles III. But it's been a very, very surreal 10-11 days, and our news channel has not been off since obviously we slept, whatever, but and turn the TV off at night, or turn the TV off if we go out of the house. But what I mean is, in that whole time, we've not changed the channel.
And we've had it on too. It's been wall-to-wall coverage here as well. So they started 5:30 a.m. here, and I think it was they just ended at noon, so it was a long broadcast. It was. Can I tell you though? It was so classy, so well done. I think I might have commented to Adam. It was they were like covering the Olympics. Like, that's what great quality it was. It was just the camera angles were in. As a filmmaker and a creator, Adam, I know you could probably appreciate everything. I'm sure you've recorded a lot of stuff, even that you didn't get this. Well, you were home today, right?
I was home today, yeah. So yeah, I mean, this weekend has been an absolute whirlwind, because Kim and I wanted to go and pay our respects. It was the Queen's, even though she'd passed away, it was her last official duty, was the lying in state, for the public to go and pay their respect.
Right.
I was never fortunate enough to meet or even see the Queen from distance in real life, or if I did see her, I didn't realize that I saw her. There's quite often there can be times in passing, times that people in London will just see a motorcade pass by, and it could be members of the royal family, or whatever, and you might not realize it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you would realize if it was a royal motorcade. I'll say that. So to my knowledge, I've never seen the Queen, but I wanted to go and pay my respects, certainly, because I 100% value and appreciate the service that she dedicated to this country. I mean, she gave us 70 years, and she gave us. I mean, she worked up until, even 2 days before she passed away. She welcomed her 15th prime minister during her reign. Her 14th that she accepted into government. Obviously, she inherited Winston Churchill as a prime minister. I love the fact that came out that obviously Liz Truss has just become the prime minister that the Queen accepted into government 2 days before she passed away, and Winston Churchill being her first prime minister when she became Queen 70 years ago. And there's 100 years between the birthday of Winston Churchill and the birthday of Liz Truss.
It's amazing.
That's an amazing. There's so many amazing facts about the Queen. I mean, obviously she's our longest reigning monarch. Had a platinum jubilee this year, 70 years.
That was amazing that they got that into. That was really cool.
Yeah. Our previous longest reigning monarch was Queen Victoria, who I believe was 63 years, and And the Queen obviously never met Queen Victoria, but she did meet and know, I think, a couple of her grandchildren or great grandchildren or something, and just things like that. It's just like just some amazing facts that have come out about such an amazing life, she led, and I, yeah, I wanted to go pay my respects because
Yeah, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you
yeah,
did.
yeah, it's been a whirlwind weekend, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so pleased we
Yeah,
did.
before we get into all that too, I'll never forget where I was, when I heard the Queen had passed. I was on the ferry going over the Statue of Liberty, believe it or not. We had some relatives over from Italy. And I got the news that, I think early on the train, I got the news that she wasn't doing too good,
Yeah,
and you never really like, I can't remember ever, maybe once or twice, but maybe, when she had COVID, I was made aware of that. Maybe once or twice she was
she did have COVID.
not good or sick or something, or whatever. I don't know. But you really never heard about her health ever. And as soon as I saw that, it was bizarre because I only got like one message from, like, I don't know, CNN or the New York Times or something. Just one, like, oh, they're concerned about her health and are monitoring her. And I said, that can't be good, like literally off the bat. And then I was on the ferry and we were going over to the Statue of Liberty, and then that's pretty much where, just bizarre, I went to the Statue of Liberty, like, and that's where I heard that she passed, so
Yeah,
I'll never forget where I was. I was over there. I have a video I'm probably going to post the next day or two. That's where I just went to the Statue of Liberty on September 8th. That's when I went, and I filmed some
yeah,
vlogs and stuff and went over the 9/11 memorial. And it was kind of bizarre that, even that, like, 9/11 was, 3 days later. And I finally, it took me a while to get over there, but we finally got to the ground zero and 9/11, and it was just a somber day for me. And then on top of it, that the Queen had passed, it was, for me, it was, it was a little bit of a surreal, um, experience as well. So, and we
yeah,
talked about this. I know me, you, and Dan, and we know we've talked about stuff like that. Um, Hassan was asking how we enjoyed the visit. I haven't been to the Statue of Liberty probably since I was a teenager, so it was really, I actually love the Statue of Liberty. It was really cool to go back there, and it was very nice to pay tribute to 9/11 and to see Freedom Tower. And I went to Ellis Island as a kid too. We went to Ellis Island. We did like a lot of stuff on that day. We did a lot of stuff. This girl that was over, we took her to a bunch of stuff, but I lost my train of thought. So oh, we say me, you, and Dan at some points. I remember we were talking, like I said, the Queen was kind of a regular on our show, so we talked about her a lot and everything. Maybe it was during the Jubilee, maybe it was earlier, but I think you guys said when she does pass eventually, it's gonna be, and it literally was what it was. You know what I mean? Like, it was just nonstop. Oh, I
yeah,
think when Prince Philip died, is it Prince? Is that,
yeah.
I think
Prince
that,
Philip, a year
yeah,
and a
because
half
I think
ago.
it was wall to wall coverage then, and then you said, yeah, that's a lot, but wait till the Queen passes. Wait and see and everything. And
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it
but
was something
yeah,
else.
I
And,
totally
and
respect the tradition and everything. It was done really well though. Sorry, Adam, good.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, obviously, that I mean, there is one great difference as well, is that when Prince Philip passed, unfortunately, it was still during COVID. I mean,
Right.
there was there was a hugely sort of poignant standout photo of the Queen sitting completely isolated by herself in the Abbey in Windsor at the funeral for Prince Philip. Not able to have any family around her because of the need to
Yeah.
social distance. She was wearing a mask, and it's such a it was a photo that really pulled on the heartstrings of everybody that saw it, because she wasn't able to sort of have family
Yeah.
close next to her, in that moment to sort of comfort her during the funeral. And I said to Kim today, I said, I'm so glad that the pandemic is, I mean, obviously COVID's still out there. I mean, I had it just over a week ago myself. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
you
but
know,
glad you're doing better.
the day I tested positive was the day the Queen passed away.
Oh
But
wow.
fortunately, I fully recovered and everything. By the sort of middle of the week just gone. But yeah, I digress. I'm just saying that I was so pleased that the country were able to come together
Yeah.
and pay their respects. and the Queen was able to have the respects paid to her that she deserved, the funeral that she deserved. That was years in the planning. The Queen was heavily involved in all of the plans, all the preparations for everything that's gone on over the last 10, 11 days. She was heavily involved in all of that, in a lot of the decision making. She helped to design the hearse that carried her.
I heard that. Yeah, I was going to just mention that. It's crazy.
Yeah, she helped to design that and everything. And I'm so glad that COVID didn't get in the way of us being able to celebrate her life and her dedication and service to the country and say our thank yous and pay our respects. That's the main thing I'll take away from that. And like you say, it's obviously I did comment at the time a year and a half ago when Prince Philip passed away that it would be a very different affair, and it was on two levels. One, because she's the Queen, but two, because obviously we didn't have a pandemic in the way of people being able to pay their respects as well. So
100%. Thank you for the kind words, Emily. She was saying, "Hi, Rob and Adam. I can't stay long, but she wanted her condolences." Yeah. Like Adam said, it's like a family member that passed. It really is, and
not quite. I mean, obviously, like I said, I've never met the Queen, but I am what I was saying before is off camera. I was saying I never knew how I would necessarily feel when the Queen passed. I knew I wasn't. It wasn't. I love the Queen, and I knew it was a day I wasn't looking forward to, a day I knew would be filled with sorrow and sadness and things like that, and a day that I never wanted to see come. But obviously, when the Queen passed, you never know how you're going to feel. I mean, you sometimes hear about celebrities or politicians or whoever might pass away, and sometimes you might not necessarily feel anything about that. Or sorry, the dogs have just come home because they were away while we were down in London. Obviously the moment the Queen passed, obviously it filled me with sadness. And then obviously, like I say, the last 11 days, we've been sort of non-stop watching this. And then coupled with going down to London, and we'll talk more about the whole journey and the trip and how exhausting the whole thing was because of the queues to line up and pay respects.
I want to hear the whole story. So I heard some of the story on chat, but I really want to hear the story. So
yeah. So by the time the funeral came around today and all was done, I said to Kim, I said, I'm ready for a break now. It did feel like as exhausting as it is when a family member does pass. When you grieve for that family member and then you grieve again at the funeral, and when all's said and done and the dust settles and you're ready to just kind of have a break. And that's kind of how I feel right now, is just I'm ready for that break. And part of that is probably the rawness and exhaustion built out of what we did yesterday. So
let's get into that. Let's talk about it. Like, people might not know where you live in proximity to London. I do. I kind of fairly knew you were far, but and then what's the decision to do it? Like, it's just like, I'll be honest, if I were you, I'd probably do the same exact thing. So I just the logistics of it are just amazing. So Kay's here. Kay, welcome to the stream. And real quick, before we go on to Sebastian, would say she was in Hollywood Studios. That was another amazing place you'll never forget. So, and Hassan, I'm sure, is exhausted too. Good seeing you, buddy. Thank you so much. As soon as I heard, it was funny, even when I heard about the Queen was not feeling good, and it was just I reached out to Hassan. I sent my best, and
well, like you said a few minutes ago, obviously it's not something that they would normally broadcast as news. Is if the Queen was sick, it's not something that the palace would normally make public, because obviously there was much of the royal family's life that they kept private, and for good reason. So you wouldn't normally hear about it if the Queen had a cold or anything like that. Anything that's maybe newsworthy, like while the pandemic was going on, the Queen had COVID. Fine, that was newsworthy, and the palace kind of confirmed that. But you wouldn't normally hear about anything. So when they broke the news that she had obviously taken a turn for the worst, and doctors were concerned about her health, that's when you knew something was serious. And the fact that the rest of the royal family were heading up to Balmoral, on flights heading up there, you knew that was serious. So obviously when she passed, and she because she passed in Scotland, there was always two plans about the Queen passing. One was if she passed in England, and it was called Project London Bridge, and one was if she passed in Scotland. I can't remember. I think it was called Project Unicorn. I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah, as it happened, because she passed in Scotland, they were able to actually merge both plans. So the Queen was able to lie in state in Edinburgh for 24 hours, and people in Edinburgh and from across Scotland were able to go and queue up and pay their respects, and then before the body was then the coffin was transferred to London, so she could lie in state there as well. So it was a wonderful kind of piecing together of both plans, and so once she was lying in state, I said to Kim, I said I would like to go. Kim said she'd like to go, and so we were just trying to work out realistically when we could, and I had other things planned as well. For Saturday, I was playing.
If you didn't, would you have gone Saturday?
Yeah, we would have gone earlier if I was free Saturday, certainly, because we were worried that we might not even get our chance to pay our respects. You know, at one point, I mean, the queues were so big, and there was at one point they had to close the queue because it reached capacity. They had to cut the queue off, which was 5 miles long, a 5 mile long queue, which they were saying, you know, may take up to 22 hours, possibly even up to 24 hours of standing in line to pay your respects.
These are Adam's photos, by the way, you sent me. So
so that was, we kind of said it doesn't matter how long the line is, as long as we get to go and pay our respects. I mean, she gave us 70 years of service. The least we could do is give her 24 hours, you know. So we went and joined the queue. It did say when we joined it was about 14 hours, and so we knew it would be a long haul. We asked Ebony if she wanted.
It took you like 3 hours to get there, right? To try.
Yeah. So from my location to get to London, the sat nav said it would take about 3 hours and 45 minutes. 3 hours and 30 minutes. 3 hours and 30 minutes. Sorry, the sat nav.
That alone kicks someone's butt. The drive, you know. So
yeah. So it said sat nav said it would take. Hey, Grace, welcome in, and Mr.
Welcome, Grace.
Yeah. So sat nav said it would take 3 hours and 30 minutes. Fortunately, we set off. Because on Saturday I was playing this gig, like I say, and I was on stage at 6:30 p.m. in the evening. Fortunately, we got an early slot because it was like an all-day thing. They did ask us to headline originally, which would have meant going on stage at 9-10 o'clock in the evening. But because our guitarist had another thing to get to as well, we managed to get an earlier slot on the stage. So we were on stage at 6:30. So I stayed up late on Friday night, knowing what we were doing. Like I stayed up until like 3:30, 4 a.m. Friday night, going to Saturday morning, so I could sleep in on Saturday and prepare myself. So I stayed in bed until like 11:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. So I had enough sleep. Then obviously we played the show.
Way, Adam never sleeps. So Adam and Dan, they're vampires. I don't know what they're doing.
So we played the show. I got home and loaded my kit in about 9 p.m., took a shower, started getting ready, and we left here just before midnight. So because the roads are nice and clear at midnight, sat-nav said 3.5 hours. I made it in 2 hours 45. So
zap there.
So we parked up. By the time we got across London to where the queue started,
where do you park? Like, I'm just curious. Like,
there was like a multi-story sort of
lot, like
secure park, so you can book online, and it kind of recognizes your number plate, your car number plate when you're going in. So it won't open the barrier if you've not pre-booked. You know, it opens the barrier because it recognizes that your car's made a booking. So obviously then you just park up, and we booked it from like 3 a.m. Yeah, we booked it from 3 a.m. Sunday morning till 8 a.m. today, just in case it was a 24-hour queue or whatever, you know, to give us the time that we needed.
That was smart.
So we like, luckily some of the tube was like the Jubilee line on the tube runs 24 hours. So we were able to get a nighttime bus to Green Park, which is just near Buckingham Palace, and then get a tube from there to Bermondsey in London, which is south of the river, where the queue started for the Queen, 5 miles away from Westminster in Suffolk Park. And we joined the queue there. It said 14 hours. Obviously, it was 4 a.m. and we knew we'd be tired. Ebony had managed to sleep in the car a bit because she decided to come with us. Like, we gave her the choice. We said, "Look,
That's
this
awesome. She came. I'm
this,
so
this
proud
is
of her.
yeah, I'm so proud of her. She did so well as well. I mean, she was exhausted, bless her. But we said, look, this is such a historic moment. The longest serving monarch. We're never going to see a queen again in our lifetime, because obviously after King Charles is you got William. After William, you've got his son George. So we're never going to see a queen again in our lifetime, and we're certainly never going to see one that is on the throne for any monarch that's on the throne for 70 years, like Queen Elizabeth was. So we joined that line. It was dark. It was cold, because it's that early morning sort of late night, early morning sort of time when the temperature drops. Thankfully, the queue was moving quite rapidly. Like, there was not a lot of standing around in Southwark Park or anything like that. It was quite rapidly. So we were quite warm walking through the queue to begin with. It's once you got into the sort of some of the streets of London, or down by the river, sort of near Tower Bridge and things like that, and the queues do come to a stop. That's when the temperature drops, because your body cools down because you're not moving constantly.
Yeah, it was like 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, and a lot of people had jackets on, so we figured it was cold by you guys.
Yeah, it was. But they were great, the organisers of this. I mean, like I say, the Queen was involved in years of planning this, and so the preparations for all of this were in place. The infrastructure of it for a long time. That it was so quick for them to erect fencing, for the queues and things like that. Get stewards in place, and police officers drafted in from all over the country to come to London.
And this is a busy section of London. Like, this area is busy.
I mean, London's ridiculously busy anyway. It's huge. So the whole point, obviously the rest of London has to carry on with their day-to-day life. People are going to work, people are going out for a morning run, people are doing whatever. But you had toilets up, you had food vendors in, you had people making bacon sandwiches
I was like, what goes on? Like, I'm not gonna I know how long you wait. I'm not gonna reveal it yet. I want you to reveal it at some point. But in all those hours you're in line, like, are you just like, you're just constantly walking and you're not stopping? And how'd you go bathroom? How did you eat?
There's times that you stop. So all along the route, and like I say, it's 5 miles. So all along they had points maybe every half a mile or so, where they had portaloos, like you see at festivals and things, and other big events, so they had toilets, plenty of toilets along the route. The National Theatre and Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, both along the river, they both opened their doors so people could go in and use the facilities, use the toilets.
All right, so you're on the line. You could walk out the line, use the facilities, take a break, and then get back in line.
The understanding was that you'd obviously just everyone, because it's such a lengthy line period, you kind of make friends with the people in front of you, the people behind you. You're there, and the understanding is, I'm going to step out of line and do this, and people, because this isn't like queuing for a theme park ride where people are just kind of, nobody tolerates queue jumpers, but people know what this means. People know that this actually means something. And if you're stepping out of line,
people are cool about stuff. All right, cool.
To the bathroom or whatever.
So wait, well, hold on a second. You guys, give me an example. Like, you went off to the bathroom, took a break or ate or something, and then like you would have to like kind of scurry up the line and get in line again. Is that what happened?
So food and drink we took with us. Yeah, food and drink we took with us. Like we just had carrier bags of stuff that we picked up from the local supermarket, sandwiches and drinks and crisps and potato chips, chocolate bars, whatever, just to keep energy going, and things like that. We knew, like I say, we were prepared for an up to 24-hour line. It said 14 hours when we got in line, so we were prepared for all that. So you can't be expected to shut off your bodily functions and not use the bathroom in that time. So you're obviously going to have to step out of line at some point. So like you just know who's around you. The way we figured it was that someone would always stay in line and keep our place. So if I went to the bathroom, Kim would stay in line. If she went to the bathroom, I would stay in line.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah.
So we could always find each other. We could always find our space again. and obviously the queue kept on moving. I mean, there would be points where, I mean, I went to use the facilities at the National Theatre, and there was a book of condolence for the royal family in there as well. So I sat down to sign that on behalf of the three of us. And by the time I came out, Kim kind of said, "Oh, it's moved on a lot." So that was like,
oh, like you texted each other.
I had to run to try and find out where she was.
Did you really run?
Oh yeah, and I like at one point, like, I mean, I used to go running when I was younger and fitter and healthier, but my knees won't hold up to me running anymore. So that was painful because I haven't been on my feet for so long as well. My knees went again, and I was sort of hobbling now. I wasn't quite running anymore. I was hobbling, trying to catch up and find out where they were. But the stewards that were drafted in were so friendly. The police that were all brought in from all around the country were so friendly. The only thing I can liken it to is like the Olympics games makers. The people that are just so friendly and just helpful were brilliant.
So that's London Bridge, or is that
that's Tower Bridge? That's Tower Bridge.
That was my second guess. Tower Bridge.
I was telling
everyone always thinks it's London Bridge.
There's a famous story that there was an American that actually bought the original London Bridge. The original London Bridge is nothing to look at. It's just a flat bridge.
Right.
And there was a wealthy American that actually bought the original London Bridge. So they deconstructed it. They sent it over to him. And they built a new London Bridge, and this American kind of, everything was shipped over. And when it was all unpacked, he was like, "It's missing. Half of it's missing." And it was like, "No, it's not. You bought London Bridge. You didn't buy Tower Bridge." And so
Did you see this at different angles while you were in line or something, and you came around and saw it again or something? Because some of it's at night, some of it's at day.
You walk, So I would say the first angle we saw was shortly after 4 a.m. That angle was maybe taken at about 6:30 a.m. That's the Tower of London.
Okay.
That's where Anne Boleyn was held, before she was executed, when she was Henry VIII's wife. That's where I believe the crown jewels are often stored now. That's St. Paul's Cathedral. Right. St. Paul's Cathedral, made famous, of course, by, made more famous to the rest of the world, but by Mary Poppins, obviously, and Feed the Birds, but obviously famous, to us anyway. The Clink. One of the most notorious medieval prisons. I think it's the oldest prison in England. So
that's like a tourist attraction, right? Because
it is now. It's a tourist attraction now, but it is like there was just at the back of the Clink there. There's an old there's the ruins of an old medieval monastery, and that's where the original prison was. Like it was St. Paul's Cathedral again. So
nice photos. Thank you for. I did ask Adam, can you send me some photos? I was so into it with him. So
that's Shakespeare's Globe Theatre.
Oh right, very cool.
Yeah.
That's one of your stops that you stopped at, or
that's we stopped there. But so going back to the line, like I say, it's a 5 mile long line. So people came out and people just set up big tea and coffee urns and whatever, and were giving away free cups of tea, free cups of coffee, chocolate bars or chocolates, bags of crisps, potato chips, snacks, sweet candy, what else? They were giving out. They had the ambulance services there giving out thousands, and I mean thousands of free blankets. And they were all brand new blankets wrapped up in ribbons and stuff that they were just giving out because obviously it's cold,
That's so nice.
The longest time. So the organization was amazing. How obviously this news broke 10, 11 days ago, and boom, all this infrastructure is there, and everyone's just come together and is helping make it.
Let's explain it too. It was 7 days. You can go and walk in and see the Queen, her casket, right? 5 days. Okay, yeah. 5 days,
yeah.
Okay.
So,
and it was 24 hours, right? 24/7, the whole time.
24 hours, yeah. I know people that I know a friend that was she went on Friday and she'd obviously joined the line maybe 7 p.m. in the evening, so she was there all throughout the night. I think they got they were getting closer, but obviously still nowhere near to going in. But they were getting closer at around 2 a.m. and then and then the queue had to stop for a couple of hours because at 2 a.m. is when they had some of the military marching in practice for today. So they had to stop and close some of the areas off and stop the queue completely for an hour or so, while some of the rehearsals for the processions were taking place.
Yeah, I was wondering that because it was so well done, and like the whole
it was.
maneuvers and changes and carrying the casket. It was so well done. So I was wondering if they did practice. So that's interesting to know too.
Yeah, I mean the military today, and I'm not sure what it's like for other nations' militaries, for America's military, and obviously I know everyone has an army, a navy, an air force, and you'll have special divisions, you'll have your Marines and whatever. But I mean, obviously, when it comes to the British military, like the different divisions, the different regiments, and everybody was, and I'm not talking about the entire military, but like representatives of every
it was so amazing
sort of regiment or whatever were there today, and you see them all in the different colors of their uniforms. You can tell which ones. I mean, obviously the senior service in the United Kingdom is the Navy, which I didn't know that until today actually, but it makes sense. We were always a great maritime nation, going back centuries. I think Britain, as small an island as we are, I think nobody else's navy is ever compared to the United Kingdom Navy, and so that's why you had 98 Navy troops, sort of pulling the coffin on the gun carriage today for the state funeral. But Hassan was just saying amazing. The grandchildren. So Princess Sophie and Prince Edward. Oh, sorry, Sophie and Edward did a walk on the Mall and spent some time with the stewards that were on 12-hour shifts. I did see some of on Saturday daytime. Yes, I did see some of Edward and Sophie on the Mall Saturday lunchtime, because that was before I travelled, Hassan. So yes, I did see some of that, and I also saw when they came up to Manchester as well, because a lot of the royal family have been to other parts of the country. King Charles especially. I mean, he's not had time to grieve at all. He's been non-stop throughout the country. Going to Scotland, going to Northern Ireland, to Belfast.
David Beckham did the queue too. I saw that he did the.
David Beckham, he queued for 12 or 13 hours, I believe. So he did the full. Some celebrities were, I mean, obviously members of Parliament, and when Joe Biden came over, and other delegates and dignitaries from other countries, they were able to go through the members of Parliament entrance, which obviously bypassed the queues. There was obviously a separate queue for unable body people. Yeah, it
was because you have to walk downstairs. So
yeah. So there was a separate queue for disabled people, and I heard there was a separate queue also for celebrities. I don't know how true that is, because I didn't see anything about that. I know some TV personalities were apparently able to jump the line, which caused a bit of unrest with people on social media. David Beckham didn't jump the line. Fair play to him. He joined from the back of the line. He queued for 12 or 13 hours. So all power to him. Take care, Margaret. She's just saying that she's heading out in the chat. Grace saying the pageantry. The pageantry is always impressive. The pomp and pageantry. I don't think many nations hold a candle to the United Kingdom when they put on a show. And the same is when it's like the Jubilee, like you mentioned before.
What I found amazing was the king walked in. He had his vigil, like people were walking by.
Yep. All of the Queen's children. So King Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward as well. Were able to hold a vigil, and then all 8 of the Queen's grandchildren. Prince William, who's obviously next in line to be king after Charles, and Prince Harry, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. They were able to come and pay their vigils as well. All 8 of the grandchildren, and it was.
But like they stopped the line, they walked in, they laid vigil. Is that the word? Vigil.
Yeah.
And then they continued the line again. It was amazing. Like, imagine going there. Like, would you imagine like you saw the king was right there? Like, and the I don't think the people actually knew that was them. You know, like I just
it's
it was
I
a
think
surprise kind of. You know, like I can't
yeah.
imagine. No one took pictures. No one was gawking. Like they
Well,
walked
you're
like.
not allowed to like
Well, obviously, I know, but that
it's the
doesn't.
moment of paying
Also,
respect. So you
yeah,
go through airport security before you go in. Like it's literally airport security. Conveyor belts and scanners and all sorts. Put all your bags and all your electronics and things in your pockets in a tray so it goes through so they can scan and check everything. Phones have to be off, and it's no talking. I mean, this is a moment of paying respect and not
yeah.
not a moment of grabbing a photo to stick on Facebook.
Which brings up a good point too. Yeah, 30 minutes or so. I heard 20
minutes,
minutes. They
20
switched.
minutes.
Yeah,
It was
20 minutes.
every so they did it was either 6 or 12 hour shifts. I can't remember where they would change over every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, but like when you went, it seemed less than 20 minutes. Like they changed the guards, and then like 10 minutes later, they changed the guards again. Maybe something
I
happened or
mean,
something. I'm
obviously
not
when
sure.
you get into the hall, it's I mean you're only in there for a moment, and I was
I know exactly how long you were there. So if you want me to, you were under a minute that you walked through. So because I
well, I
haven't.
mean, it's I know there was the changing of the guard, which happened just after I'd bowed my head and paid my respects, which I was able to then stay in the Westminster Hall. I kicked myself after I came out of the hall because I wanted to take in the splendor of the hall as well itself. This hall where the Queen was lying in state was built in 1093 by William the
That's
Conqueror.
crazy.
Yeah, like that's how old Westminster Hall is. It was built in 1093, so it's almost 1,000 years old. And the architecture.
What did the guy say to you? Like someone said something to you too. Did they tell you to move up or something? Or
he was asking me to move up. What had happened is, as I got to the bottom of the stairs, I kind of glanced at my watch and I saw that it was 2:59 p.m. and I knew in a minute they were about to do a change of the guard. And I thought, if I can slow it down a little bit, then I'm going to get to see the change of the guard. And he was waving me through, and then other people were going through, and I thought, I can't like this. I need to do the right thing,
right?
And just
Aww.
just keep moving along, pay my respect,
Let's show. Can we show it? Is it right? I asked Adam before if it was all right if I showed it or not. So.
You can show. I mean, there's not a lot to see, and I know there's not a lot to see because I know because of the change in the guard, the camera's cut away to show that, so you don't actually see me pay my respect, which is fine. It's I know that I went and I know that I paid my respect, and I'm fine with that. I don't need a video of look at me paying my respect.
Right, understood.
It's
yeah,
not about that. It's about just for me. Obviously, I know you've kindly sort of sent me the video, and that's great, and I will keep that because I can tell my grandkids that when there's a monumental moment in our history, our longest ever reigning monarch passed away, I was able to go and pay my respects, and I can show my grandkids that. But obviously, it's not a video that I'm going to post on social media and be like, "Oh, look what I did."
Yeah, 100%. I'm a little weird about showing it too, but like I did it just because Adam's my friend, and if it was me, I would love that he would do the same for me. So let's show it. It's 56 seconds clip. You're from a distance. I do another one real quick where I zoom in on you, kind of, but yeah. Obviously, we're not just like Adam said. We're not like, oh, look at me, whatever. I just felt I was an honor that you went and everything, and I was really proud. I was telling you that day how proud I was when you guys went and everything. So let's show it real quick. Here's Adam paying his respects. So. Yeah, maybe I should have said Adam was to the left. If you guys, this is a little bit of a close up. Here's a little bit. I actually got to run real quick, Adam. If you give me less than 5 minutes, I'll be right back, and I just want you to keep talking. I'll just keep going, Adam. I'll be right back. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be right back. I just have to have an emergency here, so I'll be right back. Keep going.
Okay, no worries. Hi. Sorry, there's just a lot going on right now because the dogs have just come back from having been away, and we're still in a day of recovery. It's been a national bank holiday, obviously, in the UK, because of the events. So they made it a national bank holiday. So we weren't able to kind of go anywhere, or get any shopping in today or anything like that. So physically, we don't feel capable of going anywhere either. So it has been a day of just. We got up this morning, we watched the funeral, and were able to reflect, and sort of recover physically as well. So sorry, Kim's just behind me because the dogs have just come home. But yeah, Grace has just said, you must all be exhausted. Yes, we are, Grace. It was. I obviously did it. I did do a check-in on. That's the one thing I did do on social media, was I did a check-in to say that we were there to go and pay our respects. Like I say, that's that was my one sort of like social media post of the day, and a few people kind of commented on it and said, well done, and thinking of you and stuff. And obviously because of the length of the line, I did quip that I'm never gonna complain about the length of a line at Disney World again, or I'm never gonna complain about queuing for 3 hours to ride Flight of Passage, because 3 hours is easy. Yeah. What I will say is the British, Grace mentioned the pomp and pageantry of these things before. The other thing that we do great as Brits is we do queue. It's a thing we're
it's in our blood.
It's yeah. Kim says it's in our blood. It's Brits are born to queue, to stand in line for something. We do it all the time. People even conduct experiments here of maybe getting a group of people and start forming a line, and other people will join, not knowing what it's for, but they will join. This line must be going somewhere, and it's just it's a thing we often joke about, but certainly joining a queue for something that is such a monumental part of our history, and to pay our respects to that and to say thank you, which is what that was all about yesterday. Yeah, I was fully prepared to stand there for 24 hours or longer if I had to. I know Rob's going to ask me the total time, and it is, what I can say is I won't give it away yet. I'll wait until Rob gets back. But I checked my watch the moment we joined the queue at Southwark Park in Bermondsey, and I checked my watch at the bottom of the stairs, which is when I realised that we were about to see the changing of the guard in Westminster Hall, and so I know for a fact that our time was in hours to the exact minute. It was, so yeah. So Rob is messaging in the chat as well, saying he's listening, and he'll be right back. So, but yeah, it was an exact round number. There wasn't, it wasn't so many hours and X amount of minutes. It was hours, bang on, sort of regimented. So that was an interesting little stat. And our entire journey, we got home at 20 past midnight last night. So our entire journey was 24 hours and a half. So of not sleeping, and obviously I'd been up since 11:30 the morning of the day we headed down as well, to get ready to go and play a show. So yeah, it was exactly that, Grace. It was exhausting because of playing the show beforehand, and drumming isn't easy. Drumming is physically demanding, especially rock/metal drumming, which is fast at times and heavy work. So and then yeah, and then doing that, and then when you've been awake for just over 12 hours, and then you're getting in a car to head down to London to then stand in line for what you think might be 22 hours or more, and then drive back. That was exhausting as well. We did after we paid our respects to the Queen, we did stick around in London for a little while to get a well-needed, a well-deserved drink and some food, and to take Ebony to see a couple of sites because she'd never been to London before. And we tried to go to show Ebony Buckingham Palace, but all of the Mall was closed off. There was a minute's silence for the Queen at 8 p.m. last night, which we kind of arrived on the Mall just as that started. And then once we realised we couldn't get close to Buckingham Palace, that's when we decided to call it quits and head home, because I think Kim was worried that I was actually going to fall asleep behind the wheel, because I was falling asleep in the Hard Rock Cafe where we went for food in Piccadilly Circus. Because and Ebony fell asleep at the table. She literally ate her food, and then she must have had a good half. And before, when we were having drinks, she must have had a good half an hour nap, something like that. While we were
maybe half an hour at the bar.
Yeah.
Maybe another half an hour at me.
Yeah. Sorry, Kim just off screen said she had probably half an hour while we were having a drink before we went for dinner, and then another half an hour while Kim and I were still eating our meal and having a coffee afterwards. So Kim was obviously naturally worried that I might not make it home. But like Rob said at the beginning of the show, it's one thing I can do is I can go without sleep sometimes, and the drive home was without incident, and we all made it home in one piece, and we were all physically worn out, mentally drained. We're all still aching today, but we're all thankful that we went. And even Ebony, who obviously she's only just turned 13 years old, she's never really kind of seen much of the royal family. Obviously there was the Platinum Jubilee this year for the Queen's 70 years. But I don't think Ebony would remember like William and Kate's wedding, or even Harry and Meghan's wedding, or any of the other major royal events that we've had. So she didn't have maybe the emotional attachment of it when the Queen passed away that we've had. She's been the monarch all of our life. She's been the monarch for most people's lives. I think she's been the only monarch for 80% of the country, is a stat I heard. It could even be 80% of the world, and she reigned for 70 years and is the only monarch we've ever known. So, but Ebony still wanted to come and pay respects, and she said she was glad she did, even though it physically was very demanding. So Hassan said he's guessing 17 hours. It wasn't 17, thankfully. It said 14. It was actually 11 hours. So we finally got through at 2:59 p.m. was when I checked my watch at the bottom of the stairs. It was 3:59 a.m. when we joined. Like I said, we set off from home at midnight the night before. Or 2 minutes before midnight, actually. So we were 15 hours into the entire adventure, I guess. But 11 hours of that was the queuing for the lying in state. Rob's asking, how long did my friend wait on Friday? She waited. I had two different friends that went. One went early Friday, and that was when the queue was only 2.8 miles long, and he waited 6.5 hours. So he got there quite early. Oh, what was it? Yeah, it was Friday that. Or was it Thursday that he went? I can't remember. It was Thursday. Sorry, it was Thursday that one of my friends went. He was the one that did 2.8 hours. 2.8 miles, 6.5 hours. My friend that went on Friday, she waited for 13 hours, but 2 hours of that was because, like I said, the queue was held up for a couple of hours while the military were able to march and rehearse for today's procession. So just going back to the chat, Disney Nerd Herders are in. Welcome. How are you doing? Rob says he will be right back in a minute. It's difficult to just keep on talking and filling by yourself. But heard even Beckham had to wait in line, but David Beckham chose to wait in line. We were just discussing this maybe 10 minutes ago. There was some celebrities did skip the line, which I think angered a few people. Not people in line. There was no heated moments or tension in line necessarily, but a few people on social media took to social media and sort of expressed their annoyance that a few TV personalities were able to just kind of skip the queue and just walk in and have their moment. But David Beckham didn't do that, so all power to David Beckham. Like, you know, my respect goes to him, because he stood in line for 12 or 13 hours and did the full thing. The line, for anyone that's just joined, the line stretched back for 5 miles. Yeah, and he did the full thing. So yeah, that's yeah, good on David. Yeah, indeed. So yeah, and I think there was other people. There was I know there was former Olympians and Paralympians and people like that who went and paid their respects as well. Yeah, Grace said, I didn't hear of any issues in the line. Was there anything you heard about? Yes, there were a couple of incidents. I mean, there was people fainted, and so we did see just before we went in, we did see one family that had taken, you know, they'd gone as a family, so there was obviously kids involved as well, and one of the kids looked very unwell at the end, which was probably just the exhaustion, because like I say, I mean, if you're waiting in line for 11, 12 hours, you know, it is going to be exhausting. And one lad not far behind us was sort of suddenly wrapped in a blanket and taken and sat down where he was seen to by the medical teams there. So there was other. I mean, I believe there was one report on the news, unfortunately, of a sexual harassment incident, and a man was arrested, rightly so. But that was the only sort of one incident we really heard of on the news. Other than there was one issue as well on Friday night, which also delayed my friend a little bit. Like I say, she would have been 11 hours, but she had to wait 2 hours for the rehearsal. But then there was also one incident on Friday night, which wasn't aired on the live stream of the lying in state, because there was obviously a slight delay of people going in and what was then broadcast to the watching world. But there was one incident where a man broke out of the line and ran at the coffin, managed to get his hand on the coffin before he was tackled to the ground by a couple of police officers. I don't know what his intentions were. Unfortunately, there's always one lunatic that has to try and ruin things, or but that was they were the only incidents we heard of. So other than that, I mean, one thing I will say is the idea of standing in line, I've just joked that the British are great at it, and that's what we do. The idea of standing in line for anything, nobody really likes that idea, you know, like, but just give me a second, sir. Oh no, I've not mentioned that yet. Sorry, yeah, one thing I will say is, like, the idea of standing in line, nobody really looks forward to that. But like I alluded to earlier in the show as well, you make friends with the people in front of you, the people behind you, and everybody's spirits, all in all, were great. You know, I never once heard anybody complaining, not even children in line. You know, it can get physically exhausting, and people sat down where they could. You know, there were benches along the line and stuff like that. But yeah, so nobody was, like, everybody's spirits were kept up, and I think that was helped by the police and the stewards in line as well, who, like I said before, they acted almost like the Olympics games makers. They really did what they could to keep everybody's spirits up, to keep it as jovial as possible. Fortunately, the weather was great. I don't think it rained once throughout the whole. So the last time I believe it rained in London, at least, was on the day that the Queen's coffin was flown down from Edinburgh. So she left a very sunny Edinburgh in Scotland, and she was flown down. And when she landed in London, it was raining that night, and that was the only time it rained, I believe. And then after that, the sun shone for her and for the people in London going to pay their respects. I don't believe it rained once on them after that. So that was lovely, and it was fortunate for all the people. I mean, I would have stood there whether it was raining or or sunshine. And
I know you would have.
I think everybody would have done. You know, we can all take a poncho or wear a poncho or take an umbrella. You know, that's not a problem. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Grace was just asking if if there were any incidents. There were a few people obviously didn't quite get the memo, which was surprising. So there was one point where along the riverfront yesterday, like I say, the rest of London has to carry on its everyday life as well. So there were points where they would have to break the line and hold it up, and the people ahead of us just kind of went through, and we had to wait and then go and catch them up. And when we did that, by the time we caught up the people that were in front of us, there were other people there, and we were like, these people were in the line before. And they kind of stood maybe in line for 20, 30 minutes. And then they asked how long we'd been in line for. And when we said at that point we'd been in line for, I think it must have been 8 or 9 hours by that point. And I said, how about you? And the lady said, just started. I said, what do you mean you just started? She said, we just got in line now. I said, did you not get a wristband then? Because what they did at the beginning of the line in Southwark Park, you were issued a wristband and you couldn't go through. I've taken it off now, but you were issued a wristband and you couldn't go through to pay your respects if you didn't have that wristband.
Like at the end of the line, they gave you the wristband. So
at the very beginning, at the very beginning of the line, they gave you the wristband. Yeah. So to make sure people couldn't queue drink, ultimately.
Right.
I'm
sorry to run out, but thank you. So I listened to the whole thing. It was great. So 11 hours is insane. I can't believe you guys did that. And I did tell Adam, like, anything in any line you'll ever go into again is peanuts or whatever. You said
my passage will be easy from now on, or anything Star Wars land or anything like that. You know, if anybody ever says, "Oh, it's going to be a 3-hour line," I'll be like, "That's easy. I can do that."
Let's show the queue again. This is more close up on you, so people can see exactly what you did. And I'm going to let you go. I'm sure you're exhausted. So let's see this, and then we'll wrap it up. Hold on one sec, Adam. You almost made it too, and it's funny because you told the story. Now I see you looking at your watch, and I see the lady come over, the person come over. So.
I had that quick look, and like I say, as a mark of respect, once you were inside, phones were off, most people's hats were off. Like I didn't have the trusty hat on. I had it on in line, but I made sure I took it off about an hour before we went in and put that in my bag. And I knew there was no talking when you went in there. But what I will say, I mean, nothing prepares you for the moment you walk into Westminster Hall and you kind of go up a staircase, and obviously you see everyone coming down the main staircase in the hall, but you go up a staircase from outside, and without any warning, all of a sudden you're at the top of those stairs, and you're greeted with this huge hall. First of all, like I say, this huge feat of amazing, impressive architecture that was built in 1093, and in the middle of that, you've got the Queen wrapped in the royal standard, lying in wait, surrounded by some of her guards, and keeping a constant vigil. And it is literally, I mean, I've heard the word breathtaking used about a lot of things, but that one literally was breathtaking. It took my breath away, and I did turn around to Ebony and Kim, and I actually mouthed, because it was just it was so overwhelming, is probably the and it really did draw the emotion out of you. Certainly did for myself and for Kim. It was and for everyone else there as well that we saw. It was just a breathtaking moment, and so so yeah, as I went down the stairs, obviously I knew it would be a bonus per se to see the changing of the guard, but I didn't want to think of it that way. It's for me, it would have been more of an opportunity to spend another moment in that room and sort of pay my respect just that little bit longer. Yeah, and so obviously we were privileged to see the changing of the guard as well. And I think throughout the whole time, obviously we watched the changing of the guard, but then I didn't take in the splendor of the architecture and things in the room like I'd funnily enough, I told Ebony to do that. I said, make sure you look around the room because it's this thing built in 1093, and and I
is that open to the public normally, or it's not even open?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that.
Maybe,
but yeah,
Hassan would know.
I remember sort of thinking I need to take this in, and I completely forgot to, because the moment I went in there, my eyes were just fixed on the Queen, and I didn't want to take my eyes from that really. But yeah, it was an overwhelming and very emotional experience to go and do that, and then where you came out of Westminster Hall was where they brought her out today in the funeral and loaded her onto the gun carriage, and then she was obviously transferred from Westminster Hall to Westminster Abbey,
which I thought was one and the same, but it's obviously it's a little bit of a distance. It wasn't that far.
A short distance, but when that the troop of pipers played her from Westminster Hall to Westminster Abbey today for the funeral, that was the first thing that really tugged on the strings today and choked me up. And it was
you were just there. You were just there like less than 24 hours ago.
It was the fact that it was the rawness of having just been there and had that moment, and I think. Yeah, I've always said I'm proud to be British. There's a lot of things that make me proud to be British, but I think none more than everything that we saw today. They really knew how to pay their respects today, and there were so many moments today, so many just little touches, that moving moments throughout the whole process today that made the emotion all the more sort of. And like I say, it probably doesn't help that you're exhausted, physically and mentally exhausted from having just gone and experienced that paying of respect and lying in state yourself, and then when you are tired physically and mentally, then emotions can get the better of you even more. And today was a tough watch emotionally, but it was something that I'm proud of the way the United Kingdom was able to say farewell. Thank you.
Your son said it is open, and I took the tour of Parliament, so I was actually in that room as well too. So
wow,
now that he says it, Hassan, was I in that room too? I think I was. Hassan got me.
It's something that, like I say, Ebony's never been to London before yesterday, and so she got a whistle stop tour of London in seeing Tower Bridge, for example, and we showed her which one London Bridge is, which is technically nothing to look at. It's just a flat bridge, and she got to see the London Eye because we were stood underneath that at one point. She got to see Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament and everything like that. Some of the other sites she didn't get to see, like she didn't get to see Trafalgar Square properly, or Buckingham Palace, or
gotta go back.
So we have said we'll take her back when it's less crowded, less busy. We're not going to be standing on our feet for 11 hours in a line, things like that. And there'll be other things to take her to see. But there were some things that even today, Kim and I said, one thing I've never been to see myself is St. Paul's Cathedral. So while we see it from a distance on the other side of the river, I've never been up to St. Paul's Cathedral, and I really should. But Westminster Abbey is one that I would certainly like to go and see as well, and maybe do the Parliament tour like Hassan's just mentioned there as well. So
yeah. Thanks, Hassan. It's been so long since I've been there. It's probably been, I don't know, 12 years, Hassan, since I've been there. I've known Hassan forever now. So, but yeah, the tour of, you should do the tour of Parliament too. I might know someone, so I don't know. That's definitely listening.
Yeah, I'll look into that. So yeah,
it's definitely cool.
I'll look into doing that. There's things that Kim and I had like a weekend in London just under a year ago now. It was sort of last October, and we have been planning on going back to London and taking Ebony with us at some point to do a few things. Yesterday wasn't the plan.
Right.
We actually said obviously we'd do it after our upcoming trip, or maybe next year. You know, when we've got nothing else scheduled in. St. Paul's is where Diana and Charles were married. I'm not sure if St. Paul's was where they were married. I know a lot of the big events happen at Westminster Abbey. So that's Westminster Abbey, of course, where the Queen's funeral was today, was where she was coronated, and where the Queen and Prince Philip were married. Sorry, Kim, what did you say? Oh, so Charles and Diana were married in Windsor, according to Kim. So which is where the Queen's committal was today as well. So
thoughts on the King, Charles being
sorry?
the King?
Well,
Riley Creative Travels asking.
Sorry, what was the question?
They were asking, how do you feel about King Charles being king?
Well, I see it now. Your thoughts on King Charles being king? I mean, he's got enormous shoes to fill. I know a number of years ago, you know, and it would have been sort of fresher after Charles and Diana were divorced, and I think Charles's reputation at the time kind of maybe took a little bit of a hit, and a lot of people said, oh, you know, when it comes to the Queen passing on and the succession, maybe Charles should abdicate and William should become king straight away. Charles has carried out an apprenticeship essentially for this. That's what it is. You know, the Queen when she became monarch said she never got much of an apprenticeship because her father, King George VI, passed away quite early in life. But Charles has essentially carried out an apprenticeship for this his entire life. He's 73 years old now. You know, that's past the age that most of us will retire, and he's now starting the biggest job he'll ever undertake at 73 years old. He's more than adequately prepared for this, and he has enormous shoes to fill, but I fully believe and have every faith that he will be an excellent king because of who his mother was. He will learn from his mother, and I think he will reign in the same vein as his mother. So Grace is asking that same question. Do I think Charles should have abdicated and given it to William? No. Charles has been training. Training is the wrong word, but you know, he's been preparing for this his whole life. And we never know what life will throw at us. Unfortunately, you know, like I said at the start of the show, and it's a morbid thought, but it's the one truth and the one certainty in life is death. It comes to us all, and so we know Charles will pass eventually, and William will become king, and we never know when that is. Now, the royal family have been blessed with longevity. You know, the Queen lived to 96 years old, Prince Philip to 99 years old, the Queen Mother to 101 years old. You know, so we could potentially see King Charles have a silver jubilee in 25 years' time. We never know. On the other hand, he could reign for less than a decade. We don't know. You know, because he's, like I say, he's 73 years old now, and we don't know what life will throw at us. But I do know that for as long as Charles reigns, I have every faith that he will be a great monarch, a great sovereign. So
well said. Man.
Yeah,
they're throwing all the questions at you.
Yeah, Hassan said, I don't think there are many better 50-year apprenticeships going these days. Yeah, His Majesty is ready. Yeah, so Hassan, says the same thing. His Majesty is certainly more than ready and more than capable. He's had. That's the thing about Queen Elizabeth II. She was the queen that was never supposed to be the queen. She became queen because her uncle abdicated, and therefore his brother, the Queen's father, King George VI, became king because his brother abdicated, and so the Queen was never really sort of in line to become queen, but obviously she did then when her father passed away, and she didn't really have the apprenticeship for it, but she did such an amazing job, and yeah, she certainly paved the way for the future of the royal family, for Charles and for William, certainly, who've grown up with her. It's
amazing specials on the Queen all week. I've learned so much about her, so much respect is gained for her. So
yeah,
I think we answered this earlier, right, Adam? That coronation.
Yeah. So Grace has said thoughts on when the coronation might be. I'm not sure, but I think was it Hassan who said maybe on the same day as the Queen's coronation, so it could be early June. That would make sense, and if it is summer as well, you're aiming for that amazing sort of, well, say amazing summertime.
Okay.
It's the UK, so it might rain. Who knows?
Has it rained the last 11 days at all?
Well, this is what I was saying this earlier. The only day I remember it raining in London is when the Queen, she left a very sunny Edinburgh and she landed in London, and it was raining when she was taken back to Buckingham Palace for the last time. But then from that day on, like from the day then she left Buckingham Palace in the procession to lie in state until after the funeral today, I don't believe it's rained once. I think the sun's shone,
crazy.
Which has been, I mean, it was cold, certainly in the line. Hassan said maybe it's rained 2 days. I'm guessing they were earlier days, because I don't think I've seen it rain once on the news during the line in state and the people in the queues. If it did, maybe it was a brief shower, but that was maybe it. But I don't recall seeing any rain while watching the coverage on the TV. And like I say, it was cold during the darker, earlier parts of the morning, but when the sun came out, it was warm, or certainly nice and mild. When you're even in the shade, and when they gave out blankets and things, it certainly helped keep you warm if the temperatures dropped. But the weather for the most part was great, and hopefully if King Charles's official coronation is in June next year, then hopefully the weather will be great again for that, and maybe Kim and I will go back down to London. We don't know. We'll see. Amy,
maybe you could see Dan too.
Maybe, yeah. That'd be nice. We keep on threatening that we might meet each other one day. So Amy says Charles looked tired. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. Like that, he never stopped. He was fortunately in Balmoral when the Queen passed, because Charles actually, on the day that the Queen passed, Charles had another function in Scotland that he was due to attend. So he was already at Balmoral with Princess Anne as well. She was there. Obviously, the Queen's health took a very drastic and unexpected turn for the worst, and the doctors were concerned. So Charles immediately cancelled his other prior engagement in Scotland, and was at the Queen's side when she passed away. Obviously, his brothers and his sons then joined them in Balmoral and spent the night there. The next day, he literally had to travel straight to London because he became the new king. The day after that, he was proclaimed king. The day after that, I think he went back to Scotland for the lying in state of his mother there. Then he had to go from Scotland to Belfast for a proclamation there. Then he had to travel. I think he had 1 evening's rest after he got back to London. He had 1 evening's rest, and then he had to go to Wales, proclamation there. Then he had to come back, carried out a vigil
It's crazy.
with his siblings at his mother's lying in state. Then he had to meet government ministers. And then world leaders, including President Biden, who obviously travelled over, and the Prime Minister from Canada, the Prime Minister from Australia, all of it world dignitaries, and delegates that travelled over, and he had to host all of them. I'm not sure when he had a chance to actually grieve the passing of his mother.
Yeah, true.
He never stopped.
Well, to
And
be fair, I think right
yeah,
now stuff's still going on and it's private, so which is
yeah,
100% respectable. Give the
yeah,
guy a break.
yeah. So so
It's been a long, what,
yeah,
12 days or
he
whatever.
rightly. I mean, I think when any of us grieve and mourn the passing of a family member, we look and feel tired. I remember I was when my dad passed away in 2020, and so yeah, he will be exhausted, no doubt. But as he said, when he met the Prime Minister, when he met Liz Truss the day after his mother passed away, he said, he shook her hand and he said, it's a day that I've been dreading, for years. It's a day that I never wanted to see come. But then he said, but we have to keep on going the best we can, and that's what he will do, is he will keep on going the best he can. So
yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm sorry, my neighbor needed me real quick to do something. Sorry about that.
It's not a problem.
I literally had the phone out. I was listening the whole time, so I was just right next door. So
it's
sorry
not
about
a problem.
that.
It's
so good.
I'm exhausted myself, and I'm ready for a break now.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the Queen isn't a relative of mine. I wasn't even fortunate enough to have met the Queen, let alone known her. But I think from taking a very quick, it was a quick decision that we made to, like, we're going to go, and we're going to pay our respects. It's something that I'm glad we did, and we're all glad we did. But making that decision to figuring out how we're going to do it, when we're going to travel, how we're going to get there, what we're going to do, quickly getting supplies to go, and figuring out where we're going to park, and how we're going to do it all, and then get home again, physically, mentally drained. And then watching the funeral today, which was emotional, and overwhelming. I am of that same feeling now, and I know other people have said the same. Just ready now for a break at the end of all of this. So which I will get in.
Nice relaxing vacation on the beach, right? Is that what you're doing?
10 days time, yeah, a nice relaxing, sit back, sip some cocktails. Not standing in line for anything.
Well, I've known about this for a long time. Do you want to make an announcement today, or I don't know if you? I forget what we're going to talk about.
I might be going somewhere familiar to a lot of people.
Yes. Well, I think we should talk about it because it's involving me too, and involving us going live. Actually, can we talk about it a little bit, or?
Pub Talk is going to make a return while I'm on holiday, on Friday the 7th of October. Have I got that date right?
I think that's what you said it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Friday the 7th of October, Pub Talk will make a return. So yeah.
Yep, that's what it is. And I think we're going to do a Halloween thing too, right? With Mike and Jen, and I think Dan said he's going to be in it too.
We're going to do a Halloween thing. I'll be back in the UK when we do the Halloween one.
Right.
But yes, I might be in a bit of a sunnier, warmer place for the first 2 weeks of October. Just a place not many people have heard of it. It's a little paradise called Orlando. So
yes.
So
he said it.
Yeah.
Love Donna's response.
Yeah. It's a holiday that was due to happen in March of 2020, until the pandemic happened. So I'm gonna finally get 2.5 years later.
I'm excited for you. I'm really excited.
The trip that we should have done, and we're gonna do a pub talk while I will be joining live from Epcot because I mean, if you've been living under a rock and you've not watched Pub Talk and you don't know much about me, then maybe I should inform you all that I'm British and I like a drink.
Well, I don't
We
even.
do
You didn't even tell your
well.
zinger. Like, what was your celebration after the 11 hours to almost to the minute in line? What did you message me? So what you did, and I said that's typical.
Oh, we went. So there's docked on the River Thames, directly opposite the London Eye, where you see like you always see the New Year's fireworks, on the London Eye and everything. If you ever see the footage of the midnight on New Year's Eve in London, there's a small boat which is permanently docked there now. It's now become a bar and a restaurant. It's called the Tattershall Castle. It was actually a boat that used to operate on the River Humber in Hull, which my mother used to ride on when she was a kid. So it's always kind of got a bit of a special meaning to me. But that's a restaurant and bar now. So the first thing we did once we paid our respects was we went and got a couple of. I went and got a beer, and Kim got a large gin and tonic, and we toasted the Queen.
That's awesome.
And had a much needed drink. But yes, Pub Talk will return while I'm at Epcot, and I'm going to try the Drinking Around the World Challenge.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for years.
So yeah.
So you know what's cool too, which I always in my mind, like Josh or anyone who has, God forbid you have any connection issues or anything, Adam's gonna call into me and I'm gonna broadcast. So I'm gonna be like the play-by-play commentator. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
yeah. So Rob's gonna host it. I will just join in. Hopefully find spots that are quiet enough that you'll be able to hear me, because I know sometimes when people join from a park, the technical difficulties, but hopefully I'll be able to sort of join you from spots that are quiet enough where you can hear me, and I'll have a drink, and we'll move on to the next country, and I'll have a drink, we'll move on to the next country, and we'll have a drink, and so on and so forth. Donna has just said yay about going to Orlando, and she said, I hope I'm a small part of it. Donna, we'll see what we can sort out. It'd be lovely to meet you, and Richard and Sam and everyone else. So yeah, it'd be great. Like if whether it's at a park or what, we'll try and figure something out. That would be amazing. So
be awesome.
Yes, but that's
right. Get some rest, bud.
Yeah. But I mean, I've done my training now for Orlando. If like I say, if there's a 3-hour wait for Flight of Passage or for anything Star Wars related, that's easy. 3 hours is nothing.
That's what I told because we didn't want to spoil it, but that's what I told Adam. Like, when you go to Disney, it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be nothing.
I'm gonna just take a photo of this weekend, and when somebody says, "Oh, I'm not queuing for that. That's a big queue." I'm gonna. That's like Crocodile Dundee. The whole "that's not a knife. This is a knife." That's not a queue. This is a queue. So yeah, that's
awesome.
I'm
excited for you guys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the trip.
And you're going for like 15 weeks, right? Like all Brits do.
So. Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, we're there for just over. We fly out on. We fly out on the Friday. We return on the Saturday too. So 15 days we're there.
It's awesome. Very cool. It's the way to do it. So
the thing is, I mean, you can fly to Orlando in like 5 minutes, and it's like a 5-minute flight for you.
I wish it was 5 minutes, but it's 2 hours. To be fair, it's 2 hours. It's not really that bad.
So. I know it's but no, it's especially like we've got other friends, like Brandon and Mike and Jen. Obviously, are only one state up in Georgia, so they can drive. They can drive it. You can fly, and it's not a huge international flight. So for a lot of I know America's a big country, and it can take several hours to travel across it, and even on a plane. But it's easier for you guys with your domestic flights and whatever. For us, when we go and we're going international and things like that, it's a huge cost involved, and it's a huge commitment financially and with the length of the flight and stuff. It's not worth it to only go for a week. So you've got to go for longer. You've got to go for
100%. I get it. No, I get it. 100%.
Yeah.
Right,
so Grace is saying I have a lot of pressure to come up with a costume for Halloween. I'm assuming this is. I'm sure I'll figure something out, Grace. Yeah, I'm sure I'll figure something out.
Your costumes are all classic, and can't wait to do it with the guys. So I'm not a big horror guys, but we're gonna do like our favorite horror movies, and I'm just gonna sit back and it's probably gonna be the same exact list as I did last time.
Yes.
We did it in years past. All right, brother. Thank you so much.
I'm
I was
gonna
so
go
happy for you guys. Ebony's going to Florida, right? Yeah, of course.
Ebony's got to Florida. Kim's coming to Kim's
All right,
first
great.
time
Awesome. Well, she's never been to Florida. Oh, it's awesome.
She's never been to the States. Kim's traveled a lot of places. You know, she traveled around Europe. She lived and worked in Germany for a while as an au pair, and she speaks fluent German as a result of that. She learned French. She's learned, I think previously she's learned Italian, although I'm not sure she remembers much of it. You know, she lived and traveled around Australia for a while.
Wow.
Okay. She's never been to the States, so I'm excited to take her to America and take her to Florida to the delights of Disney and Universal and everywhere else, SeaWorld. Hopefully Kennedy as well, because I believe while we're out there, I believe they changed the dates of one of the the crewed launches to the International Space Station. I think is happening while we're out there. So I think we're going to go and try and watch that as well. That'd be great. Yeah, and yeah, we're just looking forward to taking it all in. So
that's awesome.
So
well, thank you so much for coming on. What a great story. It was great. It was great to see you. You know, I knew it was just a weird coincidence. I knew you were probably going to do it. I messaged you. We were like, yeah, we're going in any minute. So then I looked and I didn't even know it was live. And to see you do it, it was a great honor with the Queen and rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth.
It was an honor to go and see her and to pay her respects.
Yeah. Everyone's thanking you too for your experiences. Yeah, so good. And we're excited for your Florida trip, and it was a long time coming. So, the rocket launch, that's awesome. So, all right, man. Well, it's good to be back to everyone. Yeah, it's just been really rough. I have so much to talk about on streams too. I did my Universal Maroon 5 event, which was amazing. I can't wait to tell that story. And I just have a lot going on too, and I wanted to tell everyone those experiences and everything. So
we haven't streamed in so long because
I know we need to stream, but now
saying,
we got a couple things
together and do some stuff. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the whole summer has gone like that. You know, from sort of June onwards, when it was or May when I went out to Cannes. You know, when I went to Cannes in May, and then
we want to hear about that too. We never even heard about that either. So
the following week was the Platinum Jubilee. The following week was Download Festival. Then we had stuff in July, including my birthdays. Then August, we had Ebony's birthday, and we had other things going on, and summer's gone like that. And all of a sudden, we had calendar countdowns for the holiday, and we were like, we got plenty of time to get everything sorted. And then all of a sudden, like the last 10 days has been pretty much on hold because of everything.
Yeah.
Queen, and now it's like, oh, we're going away in 10 days time. Okay.
I can't even believe it. I wish our stars aligned and I was down there and I've been down there. So like, I never knew I was going to go down there 4 times in 2022. And it just, unfortunately, just our stars didn't align. So
yeah,
but I'm excited. Are you going to stream on your channel? Oh, you know what?
I believe
if you guys don't know, it's AdamsLand.com. That's his channel. So please subscribe to it. We didn't really want to do a big plug, but I just want to, and his daughter Ebony, that's her channel, Ebony's little channel. So you believe you're going to stream?
Yes, because I believe the YouTube app is now allowing streaming. Obviously my channel's got less than 1,000 subs.
Yeah, you could still do it other ways too.
You can. Yeah, there are other ways, but which I did always from a laptop, but I never bothered setting it up on my mobile properly. But I believe you can now go live with a few restrictions on the YouTube app as well. So I might do a couple of live streams. I'm definitely going to be doing some vlogs, which is one thing I do like doing, is just finding the time to actually sit down and edit your vlogs. That's always the time consuming thing. But I will definitely be doing some vlogs. There's some stuff I want to film, capture, edit, put together, post, and so there'll definitely be vlogs, and there'll be a few bits. So
well, I hope you go live too a little bit. I love seeing you when you go live. It's a lot of fun. So maybe on a Resort TV 1 stream or something too.
Possibly, we'll possibly see if we in another stream as well. So yeah,
all right.
That sounds said. Be counting down to Christmas soon. Yeah, that'll be basically as soon as we get back. We're in the Halloween and then Christmas. So yeah.
Well, don't forget AdamsLand and Ebony's little channel. Donna just posted the links. Thanks so much, and don't forget my amazing members. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate you. I've been posting content though. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff from Florida. I did 4K stuff, a lot of cool 4K stuff I've been doing, and I still have a bunch of retro stuff. The tapes are sitting here still, so I'm excited. And of course, my sponsors, D&G Explorers, they go live every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. They do cruises, they do Disney. They are awesome. And of course, Disney Circus Girl Ray. She's been doing a lot of stuff from Disneyland Paris, and she's amazing too. Great channel. So go check those 2 channels out. And again, thank you so much to my members. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Adam, for coming on. I was a little bit like, I didn't really want to stream these last 10 days either because of the Queen and everything. I want to show some respect, but it's over. And Adam really moved me yesterday. I was so excited to see him and everything. And Kimmy and Ebony. So I just asked him if you wanted to come on. And it is a national bank holiday there today. And he said he would come on. So thank you for coming on, Adam. I know it's a little rough.
No, it's my pleasure. Sorry, I was just reading Donna's comments about doing it.
Yeah, come. Donna was posting her pictures from yesterday, and they were like the low-cal, like healthy stuff she was making. It looked great. Like it looked amazing. Donna, check out Donna's channel.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll sort something out, Donna. We'll figure something out.
Yes, definitely. So
that'd be great. Super.
There's Donna's channel. Dinners with Donna. I got to update that, Donna. So thank you so much. And of course, her daughter Sam is amazing too. So, all right, buddy, I'll let you go before you fall asleep too. Say Kimmy first.
Get Ebony back to her mother's. She's not been.
Yes, go. I'm sorry. I have kept them long. We did say we're going to go short.
She came to stay with us for the last week of summer holidays, and her mum went on holiday. So normally Ebony's with her mum in the week during school, and me on weekends. And Ebony's first week back at school, she was with me and Kim, so I was doing all the school runs and whatever. Yeah. And then the second week, at the end of that first week was when we realized that Kim and I both had COVID. So the second week I said, we'll keep her here just in case. Anyway, then Ebony got COVID as well.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry, guys. I'm glad you're feeling better.
We're all better. We're all recovered. And then obviously we've had this weekend going on to London. So she's going to go and see her mum for the first time in 3 weeks, maybe. So,
wow, that's crazy.
I need to take her home, and obviously it's a school night, so she's back in school tomorrow.
Well, tell her we said hi and say hi to Kimmy. And thank you so much, Adam. I can't wait for your trip. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'll be back. We're going to be doing some others, a lot of cool stuff on my channel. So hang in there, guys. Thank you for your patience while I was doing my trip and my Maroon 5 event. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll be back. So, and it just does a little bit of a somber day today, but the RobFuz will be back. So thanks, Adam. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. It was an amazing run. So I guess we'll leave it like that. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.